Hi guys, Josh here, welcome to Frames Per Second. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. We're going to be talking about why you need a film changing bag. There are several reasons why you might need one, and not all of them are for the reasons why you'd expect. But I have found it really handy in more than one occasion for many different reasons, so that's what we're going to dig into. And while we're going into that, we're going to be seeing a few images from my time in Japan. I had put a roll of Portra 400 in my Mamiya 605, and we were shooting in Kyoto, but we didn't end up doing everything we wanted to do that day. But I wanted to use a different film stock in that camera. Throughout this video, you'll be seeing footage of my time in Japan. It's in Kyoto and Hiroshima, and it will be showing you images that will relate to some of the stuff we're talking. Some of the images don't relate to that, but it's also me just trying to make a video from mistakes that happened with this roll of film and how a film changing bag would actually help with that. So let's just start with the obvious reason why you need a film changing bag, and that's because you're developing your own film. And so obviously you need a light, tight bag so you can transfer your roll of film from the canister to your spool that you'll be developing in your development tank. And so that's reason number one. So my main reasons why I need a film changing bag is if your camera messes up, or if you want to change your roll of film mid-roll but you're using something like the Mamiya 605 which doesn't have interchangeable backs, this is great.
Today we are shooting some Portra 400 at Nijo Castle.
And this is mostly what you're going to be seeing photos of. The mistakes I made by doing this. There have been times where I have used things like a reflector bag or even just like a black jacket. And in this case in Japan I didn't have this bag yet. And so I did try to use a black jacket, but it didn't end up helping. And so yeah, there's a few rolls from Japan that did lose like half the roll, or at least get light leaks in half of them, because I did try to change the film roll mid-roll and there was just a little bit too much reflected light coming in from somewhere, as hard as I did try to make sure there was no light going in. And so there were some shots that were half lost or have light leaks in it, and some of the light leaks actually look kind of alright, but the fogging on the film was really annoying. And there's some slide film that I shot which I lost a few frames from, so that kind of sucked too, because that was when my camera broke as well. And so film changing bag, amazing for that, because that way you're not ruining any of your frames. And sometimes that camera will get jammed, or just for some reason the shutter will get jammed, and it doesn't mean the camera's broken, just something weird's going on. And I've had that happen a few times, and this has been really great for that, because obviously you just chuck the camera in, you've got no light coming in, and you can do your thing and make sure your roll of film is safe before you bring it out into the light. But another reason could be is if you bulk load your film, and that's if you buy one of those big kind of bulk rollers of film and kind of just have your own canisters. It's a much more cheaper way of shooting film. It's mostly with black and white film at the moment. It used to be with color and slide as well. But you could buy it in bulk and then kind of roll it yourself into your canisters. And because you're buying so many frames worth of film for that specific price, it does end up being a lot cheaper than if you just bought the same amount of just rolls of film already in canisters. Another reason is if you're doing any strange modifications with your camera. My friend Hashim, who is sort of pushing film, who you saw in 2 episodes, he kind of did this video on showing how you can shoot instax in your medium format cameras, which was kind of really cool. And you probably could do it on your 35 to an extent, but yeah, it was cool to see, and you needed a film changing bag for that because you don't want to expose the instax frame to light. And obviously another reason is if you're shooting large format. So if you're doing 4x5, 5x7, 8x10, obviously you need a film changing bag to put your frames of film into the holders, so that's another reason. And I'd say another reason is if you're using very sensitive film, for example infrared film like aerochrome. While with the 120 you do have that paper backing, with the 35 you really want to load it in something that's really dark, and so if you're outside and you're loading film, that's when this can become really handy. And I think the last reason you need a film change bag is if you're shooting motion picture film. And so if you're loading up into 8mm, not Super 8, but 8mm, and 16mm, 35mm, 65mm, 70mm IMAX, you need a film changing bag so that you're not exposing the film to put it into the magazine that you put on the camera. And so I think that's the final reason why you need a film changing bag. And I guess I should kind of show you, even though this frame isn't that wide. But so basically what it is, it's kind of like a bag in a bag. So think Inception. You have one bag that zips one way, and then you have the other bag on the outside that zips the other way. And one annoying thing is it can get caught on like the end of the other bag, and that has happened with me, so I'd say just be careful with that. And then it has these kind of little sleeve things which you just put your hands in. It kind of is like one of those finger trap things but with your arms, and it's something that you do need to get a lot of practice for. So like if you are trying to develop your own film, you can kind of get the film sweats in the dark bag, and so you got to be a bit more careful with that. Those are just some of the reasons why you need a film changing bag. I'm sure there's other reasons as well. I always have it in my main camera bag, which is usually the camera bag I take for videos because I'm usually carrying multiple cameras. But if I am just chilling by myself or just hanging out with friends and just have one camera on me, I won't have it on me. But usually I'm shooting 35 if that's the case. I've found it more handy when I'm doing medium format stuff to have this on me at all times. But I hope you enjoyed the video nonetheless. Hope you enjoyed some of the images that did come out. and this is just something I've learned from my mistakes. And part of film photography is just kind of that learning process and learning from your mistakes, which I find really great about it. That's kind of one of the reasons why I do enjoy it more than digital, is that there's more of a development to the actual thing. While with digital I didn't find myself stretching myself as much or learning as much, and so that's one of the reasons why I love film photography, is it's a constant learning process and you're constantly growing.
Hey guys, so if you liked the video, hope you enjoyed the Portra 400, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But anyway, feel free to like and subscribe, turn on those post notifications when there's a new episode. But anyway, I'm Josh, it's been Frames per Second, just out there, shoot some fun.